Tonight was Barry Bonds night at AT&T Park, and it was also a night where they kind of wish they still had Barry Bonds in the lineup. Giants get blanked by the Pirates for nothing. This is Giants Roundup. It is Saturday night, August 11th, game 3 of a 4-game series. You can follow on Twitter, join the Crook and Kite page on Facebook. Most importantly, please be kind and hit that subscribe button. And yeah, Barry Bonds did retire tonight. We'll get to that later on. We'll start with the game. And what can I say? The Giants got blanked. Ty Block gets a spot start tonight and 4 earned and 4 innings pitched. Strikes out 5. That's actually surprising for Block, who does not strike out a lot of batters. But Block wasn't too terribly bad. I'll give him that. Trevor Williams was a bit better, 7 scoreless innings. Drops his ERA to 3.66, strikes out 2, walks 1. Keone Kellis, a scoreless frame. Felipe Vasquez, a scoreless frame. And our most recently called up Giant, Casey Kelly, comes in, pitches 5 scoreless innings, strikes out 3, does a great job saving the bullpen tonight. And you know what? I think he might have earned himself a spot start next time up in the rotation. With this season pretty much lost for all intents and purposes, I'd say why not give Casey Kelly an opportunity to see if he can be part of the 2019 rotation. If there is actually one thing David Bell has done this year, he's found some good rehabilitation projects for the minors, and this is something that David Bell's going to have to do next season. Alan Hansen, maybe not the greatest defense, but he's got speed, and certainly Alan Hansen will be back next year. Derek Rodriguez, that was another find. He's looking like, once he develops a 4th pitch, which I think he will this offseason, Derek Rodriguez is certainly going to be maybe one of the faces of the franchise. Casey Kelly, a journeyman, another scrap heap find. Kelly looked pretty decent for what it's worth. So I'm kind of curious to see what Casey Kelly can give you in a start. And he does have a little bit of MLB experience. It hasn't been great, but Kelly just looked composed and calm on the mound. And we'll see what happens how he would look in a start. And Block wasn't too terribly bad either, but I think honestly Block is more of a reliever than he is a starter. But for Pittsburgh, it was Corey Dickerson sacrificing to center. It scores Josh Harrison 1-0. And then a Bell home run to left. It scores Polanco and Freeze 4-0, and that was it. And the Giants, 6 hits, 2 from Longoria, 2 from Posey, 1 from Slater, and 1 from Hansen. That was it. Duggar starting to fall back to earth. Maybe Duggar needs a day off tomorrow. Joe Panic 0 for 2. McCutchen cooling off a bit. And we'll see if McCutchen will still be on the Giants roster when the Giants head to LA at this point. For Pittsburgh, Gregory Polanco 1 for 4. David Freese 1 for 4. Elias Diaz 2 for 2. Josh Bell 1 for 3. And this loss didn't hurt them as too bad as Colorado won, but Arizona and LA lose, so the Giants are still 6 back at 58 and 60 on the season. Let's see how they're doing as in terms of the wild card race. And the Giants are 7 back of the wild card race as of tonight. Tonight was a sellout. Everybody was there not just for tonight's game, but also for number 25, Barry Bonds. Did get his number retired tonight. And, he deserves. Granted, I am not the biggest fan of Barry Bonds. He's not the greatest person. I didn't, he also, he did steroids and Eve got caught, but I think the justice going to be served for him is he will probably go down as one of the greatest players, maybe to not make the Hall of Fame due to the steroids and Balco and all that. And he wasn't the greatest presence in the clubhouse at times. Him and Kent never got along. But there was a lot of you take the good and the bad with Barry Bonds. If it wasn't for Bonds, AT&T Park may have never gotten built. And also, the Giants could be playing in Tampa Bay. So that's kind of, Bonds did come into the Giants in 1993, about the same time the new ownership group took over the Giants. And Bonds did bring in fans. And the Giants almost made the playoffs in Bonds' first season with the Giants back in 1993. That 103 win season, back then they didn't have the wild card, so Atlanta won the 1-game playoff. And thus the Giants did miss the postseason that year, but you had a memorable roster. You had Matt Williams back then, Barry Bonds, John Burkett, Bud Black. Those were some good times. And he had a few dark years. And then 1997 came in. The Giants win the West that year. And Barry Bonds gets his first taste of the postseason. Then they get bounced by Miami, or back then it was the Florida Marlins, who which led Florida to their World Series championship. The Giants would contend for years to come after that. Then 2002 came in, the year of the Rally Monkey, Kirk Reeder, and of course the poor decision of Russ Ortiz. Then after that, the Giants started going slowly went downhill, and Bonds retired. And I think the justice will be that Bonds will not get in the Hall of Fame, along with Sosa and McGuire. The the writers have the people who cast the ballots. They've made their voices clear that they're not going to allow cheaters in the Hall of Fame, nor should they prosper. So for that, that's and I do think that 756 deserves the asterisk due to the cheating. The 73 home runs, asterisk. But I think Bonds has realistically done some good since retiring. Bonds was always a gamer, and he did devote his heart and soul to the Giants. I will say that. Despite him having a bit of an ego, So, I may not like him as a player and a person, but I honestly think he does deserve to get his number retired. That's how I feel. And that and it looks like they're probably in the coming years you're going to see you're going to see two more numbers get retired, as it looks like Matt Cain will Matt Cain will certainly get his number retired in the next few years, along with Tim Lincecum. Timmy's one of my favorites, and it's really sad to see how his career is ending at this point. I'm gonna get something to drink. Give me a second. But I think Tim Lincecum, the, his career may be ending, is likely going to be over after this year. He'll probably retire. But I certainly think Tim Lincecum will be a first round, be a first time Hall of Fame ballot. He's going to get in the Hall of Fame with his two Cy Young awards. Number 55 definitely deserves to get his number retired. So I think definitely Timmy Jim will be a Hall of Famer at some point in time, since during the late 2000s, Timmy was a dominant pitcher. Matt Cain, it's a lot more debatable whether or not Matt Cain gets in the Hall of Fame, but I certainly think he's a big part of the three championships the Giants have. And certainly Matt Cain retired at the right time. He's never got the greatest run support as a Giant, but I certainly think number 18 deserves to have his number retired. Then of course Buster Posey, when it's all said and done for him, nobody else is going to wear number 28 again. And Posey is certainly a lock for the Hall of Fame, one of the greatest catchers of all time. Posey will certainly be a Hall of Famer. Now, Crawford, maybe not. Brandon Crawford gets his number retired. Then, of course, Madison Bumgarner. I think Bumgarner is certainly one that's going to. I think he is certainly a good candidate for the Hall of Fame, whether or not he gets in. But I think he is a good enough ace that Madison Bumgarner, when he calls it a career, Bumgarner will be in the Hall of Fame. I think nobody else is going to wear number 40. Bumgarner will certainly get his number retired. So I certainly see four more numbers getting retired in the next few years for the Giants when some of these players call it a career. I think two of these players are Hall of Famers. I think Lincecum is going to be a Hall of Fame. Three of these four. Lincecum, definitely Hall of Fame. Bumgarner, almost a lock that Madison Bumgarner will be in the Hall of Fame. And then Buster Posey, he's certainly going to be a lock for the Hall of Fame with his MVP award. But Barry, I hope he had his day today. Whether you love him or hate him, he is forever a Giant. Despite all the controversy, he deserved his day. And this is pretty much his quote unquote closest thing he's going to get to a Hall of Fame induction, and he will always be cemented in Giants history. Oh, I forgot. I think Bochy number. Nobody's going to wear Bochy's number again. At some point, Bochy might be the first manager to get his number retired, and Bochy will be certainly the next manager going into the Hall of Fame at this point. I think that is near a lock there. Now on to this current Giants roster. It's on to it's pretty much on to next season. I think at this point it's going to be I think Sam Dyson and Andrew McCutchen are probably on their way to the waiver wire as we speak. They've probably started the waiver process. And I think a guy who they're going to probably be bringing up once one of these two guys is moved is going to be Chris Shaw. They certainly need to protect Chris Shaw from the Rule 5 draft this offseason, so he has to be added to the 40-man roster anyway. But this will assure them to do it while staying below the CBT. But I wouldn't mind seeing Chris Shaw play right field for a while once if McCutchen gets traded. I realistically see him more as a fourth outfielder, utility infield player, kind of like what they're doing with Alan Hansen and Austin Slater. He can hit for powers. That's what he can hit a lot of. He's hit a lot of bombs in Sacramento this year. We'll see if that power can translate to AT&T Park or not. But I think he's more of a bench role than he is a starter. But it's time to get his clock started, protect him from the Rule 5 draft. So I do see Chris Shaw coming up in the coming days and weeks here as the season's pretty much done for all intents and purposes. Of course, I've been lobbying for Tyler Rogers, but I was wondering but until I found out about the Rule 5 draft issue with Chris Shaw, I was on the fence of bringing him up. But I think now is the time to start evaluating roster spots. And Chris Shaw could certainly be that candidate. Can he be a 40? Can he be that fourth outfielder next season? Tomorrow is the last game of this 4-game series. Derek Rodriguez will be taking the mound against Joe Musgrove. This could be a low scoring affair. And this will be the last game on this homestand before the Giants go on the road to LA for 3. Then they go to Cincinnati and New York. So we will see how far in the hole they'll be after tonight, after tomorrow's game. Let's go to the MLB Roundup for tonight. The Red Sox blank the Orioles in game 1 of a doubleheader. Taking the win is David Price. Taking the loss, Jimmy Yacobonis. 4 and 2/3 innings pitched, 3 earned. Xander Bogaerts goes 3 for 4 for the Red Sox. Price strikes out 10 in 6. Scoreless innings for Boston. In the Bronx, the Yankees beat the Rangers 5-3, taking the win, Dylan Betances, taking the loss, Chris Martin. Giancarlo Stanton 2 for 3. And Giancarlo hits his 29th home run of the year. Shin-Soo Choo goes 3 for 5 for the Rangers. In Chicago tonight, The Nationals beat the Cubs 9-4, taking the win. Tanner Rourke, who strikes out 7 and 2/3 innings. Taking a pounding tonight is John Lester. Oh, 8 earned runs in 3 and 2/3 innings for Lester. Addison Russell goes 3 for 4 for Chicago. Ryan Zimmerman 2 for 3. Bryce Harper 2 for 3. Daniel Murphy 2 for 3. So Harper's starting to get that bat going. Zimmerman hits his 9th home run of the year. 2 home runs tonight. In Toronto, the Rays beat the Blue Jays 3-1, taking the win. Diego Castillo taking the loss. Sam Gaviglio. In Detroit, the Twins beat the Tigers 4-3, taking the win. Tyler Gibson taking the loss. Francisco Liriano, who walks 4 in 5 innings pitched. Jim Aducci, 3 for 4 for the Tigers. And Trevor Hildenberger, now the new closer, surrenders 2 earned in 1 inning pitched. In Cincinnati, the Reds beat the D-backs 6-3, taking the win. Amir Garrett taking the loss. Archie Bradley, who surrenders 3 earned runs in 1 and 1/3 innings pitched. Matt Harvey surrenders 7 earned in 7 and 2/3 innings pitched. 7 strikeouts, excuse me. In ATL tonight, the Brewers beat the Braves 4-2, taking the win. Corbin Burns taking the loss. Jesse Biddle. Ryan Braun goes 2 for 3 for the Brewers. In the south side of Chicago tonight, the Indians beat the White Sox 3-1, taking the win. Trevor Bauer taking the loss. James Shields, who surrenders 2 earned in 7 innings pitched. Normally a win, but not tonight. Michael Brantley 3 for 4 with his 13th home run of the year. In Houston, the Astros lose to the Mariners 3-2, and are now, I think the margin is now down to 3.5 games in the AL West. Charlie Morton takes the loss tonight, 3 earned in 6 innings pitched. Wade LeBlanc takes the win. Edwin Diaz, save number 45 on the season. Ryan Healy goes 3 for 4 for the Mariners. And it's getting tight in the AL West at this point. In Miami, the Marlins beat the Mets 4-3, taking the win. Javi Guerra taking the loss. Jacob Rame. And Straley only goes 4 and 2/3 innings tonight. 3 earned, walks 4 batters. In KC tonight, the Cardinals crush the Royals 8-3, taking the win. Jack Flaherty, who strikes out 9 in 7 innings pitched, taking the loss. Danny Duffy, who gets pounded for 6 earned in 5 and 1/3 innings pitched. Alcides Escobar goes 2 for 2 for Kansas City. Harrison Bader goes 2 for 3 for the Cardinals. Brian Flynn, 2 earned in 3 innings pitched for Kansas City. St. Louis now 62 and 55 on the season. And Mike Schilt could lose that interim tag really soon, as St. Louis is playing so much better under Schilt at this point. In Baltimore, Game 2 of the doubleheader, the Red Sox sweep the Orioles 6-4, taking the win. Joe Kelly. Taking the loss, Mike Wright Jr. Trey Mancini goes 3 for 3 for the Orioles. Just Dingers goes 2 for 2, and they were both home runs. Now up to 37 home runs on the season for JD Martinez. In Colorado, in Denver tonight, the LA Dodgers lose to the Colorado Rockies 3-2. Taking the win is Brian Shaw. Taking the loss is JT Chargoy, who surrenders 2 earned runs in 2/3 of an inning pitched. Carlos Gonzalez goes 2 for 3. Gerardo Parra goes 2 for 3 for the Rockies. Kyle Freeland 2 earned runs and strikes out 10 in 7 innings pitched. Walker Buehler 7 scoreless innings for the Dodgers. And Arenado hit by a pitch tonight. Wild pinch hitting. In San Diego, the Phillies beat the Padres 5-1, taking the win. Aaron Nola taking the loss. Walker Lockett, who surrenders 5 earned in 4 1/3 innings pitched. Hunter Renfroe 2 for 3. Corey Spangenberg 3 for 4 for the Friars. Nick Williams 2 for 3 for the Phillies tonight. And Philadelphia now takes a 1-game lead in the NL East. And in the OC tonight, the A's blank the Angels 7-0, taking the win. Edwin Jackson 7 1/3 scoreless innings for the A's. Marcus Semien 3 for 5 for Oakland. Steven Piscotty 3 for 5. Semien 2 home runs, hits his ninth of the year. Chris Davis hits his 34th home run of the year. Jose Fernandez 1 for 1. Skaggs gets roughed for 7 earned in 3 1/3 innings pitched for the Halos tonight. Oakland now at 69-48 on the year, 3.5 back of the Houston Astros. And tonight down on the farm, the Grizzlies get blanked by the Isotopes 10-0. Josh Fuentes goes 4 for 5 for Albuquerque. And the Grizzlies only get 1 hit tonight from Garrett Stubbs. Sam Howard 4 scoreless innings. Yency Almonte 1 scoreless inning. Carlos Estevez a scoreless inning. Brooks Pounders 2 scoreless innings, and Scott McGough a scoreless inning. Trent Thornton 4 earned in 1 2/3 innings pitched. Cy Snead 1 earned in 4 1/3 innings pitched. Riley Farrell 4 earned in 2 innings pitched. Raymond Goodwin an earned run in 1 inning pitch for Fresno. They fall to 67-51 on the year. And in Sacramento, the River Cats lose to the El Paso Chihuahuas 2-1. Peter Bourgeot 1 for 4. Cesar Puello 2 for 4 for the River Cats. Kelby 1 for 4. Miguel Gomez 1 for 4. Jordan Johnson 2 earned in 6 and a third innings pitched. A scoreless frame out of Hunter Strickland. Dave Brundage tossed in the 7th inning for arguing. And the River Cats fall to 47-71 on the season. I think this will conclude tonight's show. Everybody have a great Saturday night. We'll be back on air tomorrow. Hopefully, it will be a split. Everybody, adios.